So Rashid, let's jump in. Let's talk about first. Why don't you just briefly introduce yourself to the
Sure.
people? Tell us a little bit about you, the work that you do, and we're really going to jump in and talking about and offering some your experience right now with COVID-19 through the lens of your role and as well as just like your colleagues and all of the folks that you're connected to. And then we would love for you to just maybe offer some concrete pieces of advice that we could all walk away with.
Sure. Thank you. Again, Rashid Williams. I'm currently the manager of post-secondary outcomes for the KIPP through college program at KIPP Jacksonville Public Schools in Jacksonville, Florida. And so I've been on this team now for 3 years. Before I was the manager of college placement, so really working with juniors and seniors, preparing them transition into college or military or workforce, whatever their options were after graduation. So I still dabble in that a little bit. We just brought in one of our new colleagues, Jeff Pierce, who's taking on that role. And so that's when I moved to manager of post-secondary outcomes, where I really support our students that are already in college and those who are in the military, those who are working through technical or certificate
Oh, wow.
programs, as well as those who are now in the workforce. So
So it sounds like you have a lot of touch points with current college students as well as high school seniors.
yes, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So at our school, we only have elementary and middle. We'll have a high school in 2021, but so right now we primarily support our students in high school in other schools within the district here
Okay.
in Jacksonville. And so we're what we call like just a K through 8. There are some KIPP schools that do have high schools that do graduate, and so with our model, we literally work with high school counselors to support our students at the school they're at right now. And so it's great. It's an opportunity to partner again and to be that added layer to support high school students. And so obviously during this time with COVID-19 and schools being closed, usually our day, first half of our day, we're going into schools, actually meeting with the students, and actually, providing that extra support they need. But now with us not being, a lot of it has been more so like, first, tell me where you are in this process. How
Yeah.
do you feel? How are you processing the fact that a lot of your senior events have been canceled? And so now, something that you were preparing for, you paid senior dues. You're looking forward to getting that tux. To the young ladies, you've had prom dress plans already in place. How do you now make that shift and still see the value in the time of what you're doing and be celebrated and appreciated and realize like, hey, you know what, this is tough, but I do have people who are backing me at the same time.
So great. I love how you said, you make it a point to check in on that college student first. Like, how are you feeling? How is this entire process really going for you? And how many times, like, I mean, I'm sure that is so needed, especially right now. And so kudos to you to just even like building that relationship, so that you can then talk about the real the also the critical things around college and your future, and so that college students are also comfortable with saying, hey, you know what, actually this is not the direction I want to go in. And that takes a lot of vulnerability for a college student to be able to say that, right? Because fear of judgment and all that other stuff.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
so great that they have you.
Mhm.
So, given like everything that is also happening right now, what is really resonating with you? What's weighing on your heart? And maybe some of the challenges, and what are some of the things that you and your team are currently like front of mind, like
Yeah.
things that you all are focused on right now?
So I'll be honest. We were on a call yesterday with other KIPP through college colleagues across the country in different regions. So our number one concern, we know transitioning from high school to college or any post-secondary plan, you have summer melt in the summer. Things happen, especially for first generation college students. And so what we're concerned about most is this is already usually a tough time to make that transition happen because of all the different hurdles that can come up. Issues with financial aid verification, students having the resources to actually, leave home and go to the college campus they want to go to.
Yeah.
Um, just so all these things are on the front of our mind, like how do we make what is already a difficult transition
Yes.
even more possible through this virtual reality we're in now, right? We have students who still haven't made a decision. They still are waiting on acceptance letters. They haven't been able to go tour campuses to see which
Yeah.
they want to choose.
Tours.
Yeah. And so for us, it's like virtual tours, okay, which a lot of schools do offer on their website. So I will say to any parents or any students, you can try and find virtual tours to at least be able to see campuses, see dorms. But again, making a decision there's something about going live on a campus and having that moment like, yes, this is where I want to, this is where I know I belong. And so now it's like we got to try and help them make a decision sight unseen to a degree. And so those are the things that are in front of our
Yeah.
mind, as well as parents are now dealing with economic challenges. So,
Yeah.
parents have lost jobs. So now those funds that they might have had to be able to help with that transition, paying the security deposit on housing, paying the actual enrollment fee, if they're
All
not
of that is
doing that,
on hold right now for
right.
a lot of families. How are you all navigating through that?
Great. So the KIPP Foundation actually started a COVID-19 emergency fund where we've been able to we created our own direct form, Google form here in Jacksonville for our students our college students to fill out if they had any issues come up. And so I can probably bet that that's going to be the same route we're going to go with some of these transition costs for our senior high schools going into to college, because the reality is we know that parents have been adversely affected because of losing their job or losing hours at work. And so the foundation has been great about providing support, and within KIPP Jacksonville schools, they've given us our own budget in our KTC department, where we've already been supporting our students over the past few years with admission application fees, SAT, ACT test fees, any kind of emergency funds they may need if they have an issue come up. So we have a couple of resources internally that we use to try and make that happen.
Wow, that's awesome, Rashid. I mean, it sounds like you guys are thinking about, how can we continue to support our families in this time? Because we know that, it's not getting any easier, at
Nope.
least for the next, few weeks, maybe few months. And I just really appreciate you thinking about that. I would love to hear from anyone else who's on here. Just like if you're an educator, tell us your role. What are some things that you all are thinking about as it relates to high school seniors? Maybe it's your own child, maybe it's a student at your school, or maybe you have your parent and you have students in college right now. And these are things that you're thinking about as your students are transitioning. I know in my former experience as a high school principal, I know just how critical this time really is for families, especially in our urban communities,
Yep. Yep.
where parents, they want the best for their kids, but they don't necessarily have all the resources or know how to navigate all of these different spaces. And I love, Rashid, that you're offering also just encouraging your students to do the virtual tours with schools. I'm also wondering if colleges are currently have like, because it's all about the experience for a lot of our students. So are
Right.
colleges doing any roundtables for recruitment, or have you heard of any of that happening?
Honestly, I have not. What I have seen is a lot of the schools are doing Facebook Live or Zoom calls through their admissions
Okay.
department to actually, address any concerns that students and parents may have about the next steps process. Maybe they've already been accepted, they've already received their financial aid award packet, and now they're just like, okay, we know we made a decision. We know where we need to go. We know, hey, what's next? What do we, what's on hold? What's not on hold? And so, there's summer programs coming up. You got a lot of bridge programs happening. And so what I actually was on a Facebook Live on Friday at 3 p.m. Albany State University is a school where a couple of our seniors are going. And so I was able to log in, and their director was actually on Facebook Live.
Oh, wow.
It's like, hey, these are the next steps you need to look at. Log into your student portal. Make sure you select housing before the June 1st. Go ahead, and there's some scholarships that are available strictly for freshmen. So it's just great to see
Wow.
that these schools are now, and Savannah State is another school that some of our students attend and will be going to soon. They're doing stuff on Zoom where they're actually, again, admissions personnel are literally sitting for an hour addressing questions, kind of like what we're doing now. And so it's
Right.
just awesome to see schools, again, going virtual because the reality parents do have questions and concerns as well as students.
Wow. That's powerful. That's so good though to know that schools, even colleges and universities, are leaning into this and making adjustments
Mm-hmm.
for that. So we've heard you talk about just like the challenges around virtual, just like connect the college application process,
Right.
and connecting virtually to support with parents and students with the costs associated with college.
Mm-hmm.
What is there anything else, Rashid, that any or even any pieces of advice that you have for the community as we begin to wrap up here?
Sure. One, to any parents or students, uh, colleges are having to make hard shifts in their admissions process right now. This is a perfect time. I don't, for a fact, state of Georgia, for any public university, they've suspended, um, considering ACT and SAT scores in the admissions process
Wow.
because they postponed testing, right? And students were retesting to gain admittance, but they said, hey, you know what? We're not going to consider that. We're going to go strictly off of weighted GPAs and transfer. So
This is all colleges in Georgia?
in Georgia, any public university, yes, crazy,
Wow.
right? So my thing is, hey, shoot your shot. This the time. If you
What?
couldn't get in school before, why not now, right? And so I'm speaking for the state of Florida. Our governor hasn't said it, or the university system, but again, schools are going to have to be creative to make sure they get enough
Wow.
students coming in the fall. So don't think it's too late to apply. Go ahead and apply. Scholarships. You don't think they're going to have to move deadlines for awarding. So hey, if
Jump
they've
on it,
ended it,
right?
jump on it. This is a free time for you to fill out scholarships. Please fill them out. You got more time now than you've ever had. This
That's
is the time
right.
to submit 10 a week at this point. If you get one each week, you got more money than you had before. So that would be my advice to parents and students. To any school personnel, please consider still celebrating your seniors in some way. I know for us, we do our college signing day every year. And of course, it's going to have to go virtual this time. So my director, Dr. Aaron Allman, she's on this live with us. She's already been pushing. It's like we're doing a signing day.
That's
We're
right.
gonna get creative. We're gonna send our kids some kind of swag box, senior swag box with a shirt from the school they're going to, just some encouraging words, and we just gonna do it virtual. I saw a
Yes.
post before I got on. I told you where you got parents now like, hey, we're gonna decorate the front door of our house and put the cap and gown up, and we're gonna take
That's
pictures and
right.
celebrate.
That's
Because the
right.
reality is, this is a big accomplishment.
It is.
Stress it enough. Please, please, please celebrate students. Make them know that this is not just something casual. This is literally a rites of passage into the next journey of their life. So that would be my advice to everyone.
Wow, that's so so powerful, Rashid. That is amazing, and I hope that our families really take away from this, Rashid, especially in our urban communities, right? A lot of for the first generation students, for I mean, and just the whole testing thing just blew me away. The fact that Georgia, for right now, has
I,
suspended the SAT,
my mouth was
ACT.
on the ground. My mouth was on. I was like,
And like, listen, let's just be real. The research just shows that disproportionately students of color do not achieve, as high as their white counterparts. And so this is, for the students who have been grinding, whose GPAs are reflective of that, whose leadership, all of these other things are going to be um, elevated. So wishing you all the best. If you all have any specific questions around this, Rashid Williams. His IG name is Empowered to Empower. He's up at the very top. Make sure that you follow him, DM him, DM us.
Please.
And folks, so here it is, post-secondary support, both for our current college students, our transitioning students who are high school seniors transitioning into whether it's college, military, all of that. There's a lot up in the air, and hopefully if you missed some of this, go back, watch it. Rashid, thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you.
and you all have a blessed Tuesday. Enjoy your day today and make it happen. Go outside and get some fresh air. I'm going to take my own advice.